Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is currently 1:16 a.m. on this rainy Sunday evening going into Monday. It is 55 degrees outside. I had to take my coat off and put it in the back seat because it was so, it's not warm, but it's not cold either. And so before I left, I was sitting in the car and I was like, I'm gonna be warm vlogging tonight. So I stepped outside and I took my coat off and folded it up and put it in the back seat. And now I'm ready to vlog and take you into the midnight hour. Well, I guess it already is the midnight hour, isn't it? The witching hour. Isn't the witching hour like, is it 2 a.m. or 3 a.m.? I think it's 3 a.m. Which is weird because I wake up a lot around 3 a.m. Anyway, coffee of the evening is Frosty's mint chip. So today I received a box on the doorstep, and okay, so remember I had said that I bought that Modd's coffee? I think I showed it. But I originally had wanted this selection of Modd's holiday coffee. But it wasn't like on Prime to be delivered like that. So I thought that I didn't end up ordering it. It actually wasn't super expensive, but it has like 6 different flavors in it. And I didn't think that I ended up ordering it because I ended up ordering just the regular Modd's coffee because I wanted to try that. So today this box comes from Amazon and it's my Modd's holiday coffee. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have all this coffee in the corner of the kitchen that I don't know where to put. I mean, I just literally have boxes and boxes of it. Which I also have tons and tons of candles. I was actually thinking I would really like to have in the garage like a metal chest to put there. You know, like a utility chest or something like that. I'm gonna go look and see how expensive they are. Like, I don't want like a really heavy one, just kind of like a lightweight like metal chest for the garage that I could place my candles in. And then I could also put like, we could put our toilet paper, I just say toilet, that we could put our toilet paper. That's such an Indiana thing to say, by the way, like northern Indiana, it's to put R's into things like toilet, or wash your hands. It's like kind of like a northern Indiana, like if you hear that accent, sometimes it's, like my dad is from northern Indiana and he sometimes puts like R's in his words. But anyway, we could also like in the bottom of it put like our toilet paper and paper towels and, you know, like cleaning supplies and stuff. And then on another, you know, I could have all the candles and then all the coffee and like extra things that we have in there. We could keep it on like a what do you call it? Like a metal, you know, like one of those chests that folds out, like a utility chest for your garage. I don't think they're too expensive. I just don't want to have to get one that you have to put together. I just want to get one that's already made. And I don't know that I can get one that will just fit in this car, but I'm sure I probably can. I just need to look at Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that. I actually think that like Home Depot is rather expensive. So maybe I'll end up going to Menards and looking. I was thinking about that tonight because I went out in the garage and I was looking for toilet paper because we usually keep it in the garage because we buy like the big, you know, what do you call it? It's like $15 from Costco and it's like this huge thing of toilet paper and paper towels. We can get this. We used to do the Kirkland brands, but now we do like Bounty and Charmin and stuff because it's like $1 more. But we keep it out in the garage, and when I was going through like the box that we keep it in, right, which is right next to the door, I have all of the candles that I bought at Target when I did like a fall hot like candle haul, and then I have candles from last year at Bath and Body Works, and the candles that I bought this year, and some of the candles from this year are up in this cabinet that I keep the candles in. I'm like, oh my gosh, we have all of these candles. I was like, I've got to have a place where they are like all together. So I can kind of like look at them and be like, oh, I want to pull this candle out, or I want to pull that candle out. So if I had that, that would be really nice. So I need to get that. So maybe one day this week I'll go and look. I've been meaning to clean the corner of my bedroom as well, because I have like stuff that I took on trips this summer that are sitting in piles. I have stuff that I washed and folded to take on trips this summer that I didn't end up taking, that are sitting kind of like in 2 piles next to each other. I have boxes of shoes that I have bought, and bags of stuff that I've purchased that I haven't worn, that's like sitting there that, you know, hopefully, well, I will use next summer. Stuff that I bought that was on sale at the end of the season. I have all of that stuff over there, and I need to put it into my closet. So I've been meaning to clean out that corner, but I've been kind of honestly waiting until the Christmas tree comes. You guys, I don't even have my Christmas tree up in my living room yet. I realized that today. I've actually realized that a couple times in the last couple days, but today I was like, when are you going to put that Christmas tree up? It just seems like the day kind of gets away from me, you know? One of these days this week. I'm real busy the next 2 days because tomorrow I have, well, I want to make videos for most of my channels tomorrow, and then I have our literature group at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, and then Tuesday I want to make videos, and then I have my home group meeting on Tuesday night, and then after my home group meeting I have a business meeting for my home group meeting on Tuesday evening, and then Wednesday, I don't think I have anything Wednesday. I know Alex is going out to dinner with a girlfriend on Wednesday night, and so Wednesday will be a good day for me to get a lot of stuff done. And then so maybe on Wednesday will be my day to like put up the Christmas tree, clean out the corner of my room. Maybe I'll just make that the Wednesday. If the Christmas tree, because it's like, it's on its way, if it came before Wednesday, that would be so perfect, because then when Alex came home from going out to dinner that night, I could have the Christmas tree downstairs up, the Christmas tree in the bedroom up, and then when he came home, it would be all Christmassy in the house. That would be really nice, wouldn't it? Okay, that's gonna be my plan for Wednesday. And then Thursday, I think we're going out to dinner first, but we are going to Newfields at the Art Museum to see the Christmas lights. It's the same thing that we did with Melissa and Jason last year. I think Aaron and Eric are going with us this year. And I think we're going out to dinner before, because we're not going till late to that. Well, Alex said like 9:30, but our tickets I think say 8:30, because I saw them on the table. So that is Thursday. And then I don't think we have any other plans for the rest of the weekend. I feel like December is just flying by already. I can't believe that it's already, what is today, the 6th of December? It just seems crazy to me. It's been pouring down rain off and on. I was actually, before I came out here, I was like sitting on the computer doing some stuff, and all of a sudden I could just like hear it pouring down rain. So I was like, well, I'll just wait a little bit longer. So I waited a little bit longer, and now it has stopped. So anyway, my plans for this evening, because I'm fully rested, because I took like a 3-hour nap while Alex watched almost an entire season, well, half a season, he said, of Schitt's Creek, which was, there's something so comforting about that show. I kind of like floated in and out of it. It's the season that ends on David and Patrick having their very first date, which it's on David's birthday, and he doesn't know it's a date. That was the episode that it ended on. And I kind of like woke up in the middle of that episode, but so I watched the end of it and then I got up. My plan is, because I didn't listen to tons of my audiobook last night, which was my plan. I did listen to some of it, but not tons of it. I have 2 hours and 24 minutes left. And that's in real time. Like that's, I have 6 hours left of the book, but when you break it down to 2 times 5 speed, I have 2 hours and 24 minutes left to listen to the book. Well, probably, I have like, plus a little bit more, so probably 2.5 hours to listen to. So my plan is to finish Apples Never Fall tonight. You know, it's interesting in like reviewing this book, because I know it's taken me like forever to read, and I think most people would be like, well, you obviously didn't really enjoy the book, and that's just not the case. Like, the book is actually really good, and it's very interesting, and the character development is phenomenal, and the story is so like all over the place and kind of crazy Actually, somebody today, I think it was Jamie, because we had the book club today, I'll talk about that in a second. I think it was Jamie said that she was reading all of Liam O'Riordan's books like in order, and that she got hooked when she read the first one, which is called 3 Wishes. And so I thought, you know what, I might do that, read all of Liam O'Riordan's books in a row. If I do, though, I'm going to start that in January because I want to read Christmas books. Well, I have a book I'm going to read and then Christmas books for the rest of the month. And I'll tell you guys about that in a second. So anyway, but like, it's a hard book to listen to. Like, so much happens. It's just like constant what happens. But I've gotten to the point in the book where it's like, because it goes back and forth between like a year before and now, and it kind of is like a year before building up to now, and we're almost at to where like the times are merging together. And what unfolds, I mean, it is so crazy, you guys. Like, this is what I love about her books, but I mean, a 12-hour audible buildup of a book, of listening to it, that's a long book, you know? Like, I don't know that, like, if I was, I mean, it's easy to drive around and listen to it, you know, but like, if I was physically reading this book, I probably would have DNF'd it by now and not finished it, because it's just such a long, I mean, there's a lot in there. And I don't know that I feel like the book needs to be necessarily that long, but then at the same time, a lot of the side stuff is very necessary to the building of the characters and the building of the story, so it kind of does need to be that long. I don't know. It's not a difficult read at all, and I'm very intrigued to find out how this book is going to end, because it's about this mother that is missing. Like, she's left, and she texted all of her kids and said she was going off the grid, and the father, like, they're still married, and so he has no clue where she's at, but like, the police investigators think that the father has something to do with it. I mean, you don't know the whole time that you're reading the book. You have no idea if he does or if he doesn't, or what the kids know, or it's very interesting because it goes back and forth. So I'm intrigued to find out what happens. It is a really good book. Like, I'll probably end up giving it 5 stars. I just wish I had listened to it faster. Like, I wish I had, like, committed myself to listening to 2 hours a day, which I guess is, like, a good lesson. Because it's a book to be read probably in 3 or 4 days. Like, I did Big Little Lies. Like, it's not a book to be read over, like, the course of, like, a week and a half, 2 weeks. Like, because what happens is, you kind of get less interested in it. I think if you listen to it really, really fast, or you read the book very, very fast, I think you would stay interested in it, which is probably why Tanya initially said it was so good, because she reads like a 500-page book in an afternoon. So she probably just read it in 1 or 2 settings and thought like it was fantastic because of that. Oh, look, this tree is so pretty. They have such a tall Christmas tree. And then we were in the book club today. So we had a true crime book club and the live stream, which was really, really fun. It was Mel and I, and then Nikki and Bunny guested, and Karen came in. Oh, well, we tried to guest Karen at the end. She couldn't come in. It's like, you know, is always doing something funky. And so we couldn't guest Karen at the end. And we did the book reviews we did the book discussion for Behind the Horror by Lee Mellor. And then we also talked about, who was texting me? And then we also did the discussion over the November, that was the October book, was Behind the Horror by Lee Mellor. It's a book about like the real stories behind these movies, like Alfred Hitchcock movies and Scream, and I can't even think of some of The Exorcist, movies like that. Amityville Horror, all of that kind of stuff. Poltergeist, Serpent and the Rainbow. So then the November book was Dark Room in Glitterball City by David Domine, and we had a book discussion about that as well. I thought it was a fantastic discussion today. It was really, really fun. And we didn't have tons of people in there. We never really do, and I kind of like it like that, honestly. I mean, anybody's welcome, obviously, but we had a good time. It was really fun. Danielle was in there. Hi, Danielle, if you're listening. And Stacy jumped in real quick to say hi. It was her kid's birthday today, so they were having a birthday party. And it was fun. We had a really good time. And, but while we were in there, I was telling Bunny about this. Bunny said she wanted to read a book about candy from So Candy was a character, well, not a character, I mean, I guess a true person, although all of us were kind of like, we're unsure if Candy is like a real person or not, in a dark room in Glitterball City. And so Bunny had said, I would really like to read a book just about Candy, about this and about that and whatever. Because Candy was like a really interesting like character study in the book. Who is texting? I think it might be my husband. Now at a side glance, I can kind of tell. Oh no, it's not. Hold on a second. 222. So I was recommending the book Sarah by JT LeRoy. I've actually talked about this on here before. JT LeRoy was this writer. I looked up when Sarah came out, and it came out in 2000. So it was 21 years ago. And JT LeRoy was like this phenomenon that occurred within the literature world. And he was like a writer that like first published his first book at like 16 or 17. And he supposedly had been, like he referred to himself as like a lot lizard, and that, which is like a prostitute in like a what do you call it? Like a truck stop. And that's the term that he uses. And his mother was a prostitute that like prostituted him out, and that he worked for this pimp that like dressed boys up in girls' clothing to pimp them out. And that was basically the synopsis for the book Sarah, which was based on his real life, supposedly. And then, and was very gender bending. It was kind of like really unique for its time, of like, just like embrace who you are and all this kind of stuff. But it was very edgy too. It was like, I mean, it wasn't like a young adult novel. Like, I mean, it was a difficult read, and very vulnerable and raw. And so then JT LeRoy, and I became like, I read this book and I just was like, oh my God. And Courtney Love was talking about it, and Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins. I mean, everybody was talking about JT LeRoy. It was in Rolling Stone. I think I first read an article in Rolling Stone magazine, and it was, I think it was something like Billy Corgan interviewed JT LeRoy, which is like such a big deal anyway. You know, you have this kid that's this author, and JT LeRoy interviews, or Billy Corgan interviews JT LeRoy for Rolling Stone magazine. And this kid was like, whenever you would see like interviews or whatever, was like real quiet, and like would be like, oh yeah, and like wouldn't really talk and stuff, and always kind of like turned away from the camera, and always wore big sunglasses and like this kind of like weird wig. And so anyway, I think that's the article that I read. I might be wrong, but it was something to do with Rolling Stone. So anyway, I mean, everybody was talking about, I mean, it was like real edgy, artsy, right? So then JT LeRoy came out. I think the second book was called The Heart is Deceitful Among All Things, or Above All Things, or something like that. And they turned it into a movie. Asia Argento, whose father is like a famous director in France. I think like a famous, I think might have done, oh my God, the nonstop text, a famous horror movie director. Or grandfather, father or grandfather was like a famous horror movie director, directed that movie. Courtney Love was in the movie, played the main character's mother, it was again based on JT LeRoy's life. And so it was this huge thing, right? Well, then it came out. I honestly do not even remember how it came out. It came out that JT LeRoy was actually not JT LeRoy. That JT LeRoy, the author, was this woman named Laura, whose sister-in-law, Savannah, was posing as JT LeRoy. And Laura was the agent slash friend named Speedy. It's so bizarre, you guys. Like, it's the most bizarre thing in the entire world. Okay, so I became kind of like, I mean, I have to tell you, like, I was one of the people that was really let down. Like, I felt like I was so invested in the story, and it just would seem so real and everything like that, and then it comes out and, like, the whole thing's fake, right? So, when I went to LA for the first time, Alex and I, I went to go do a video with Thomas Halbert, and I don't even think he's making videos anymore. But anyway, hold on a second, let me fix this. I don't know what is going on with this. It won't set up. I went to go do a movie with Thomas Halbert, or a video. And I haven't seen anything. Like, does he make videos or do anything anymore? Anyway, and we got talking to his, like, manager was there, and she was so nice, and she was very cool, and so she and Alex, like, really hit it off, because they were talking about, like, just, like, work stuff and whatever, and then she and I got talking about, like, liking true crime and liking documentaries and stuff like that, and she was like, oh my god, I just saw the best documentary, and it was called Author, and it was on Amazon Prime, and it was about JT LeRoy, and I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, it was about the author JT LeRoy. It's this fantastic documentary on Amazon. And I was like, oh my god, like, I'm obsessed with the whole JT LeRoy story, and I read the books and everything like that. There's, like, one book that I did not read. It's called Harold's End, I think, because I was looking at the JT LeRoy books tonight, and it's, like, the one that I haven't read, that I didn't even know was out, so I may buy it and read it. So I came home, and no, actually, I think I watched that documentary when we were in LA, or, like, the second trip to LA. I can't remember. Like, in the hotel room. But I, like, watched it. I think I watched it, like, right away, because I was like, so, like, I have to watch this. And I ended up sending a message to the real author, this Laura, who is on, like, Twitter and stuff like that. She's now writing for, like, movies and television. I mean, she's a phenomenal writer. And she messaged me back. I mean, it took a long time, but she finally messaged me back. But anyway, so we were talking about it today in the book club, and I was telling Bunny that she should read this book, Sarah, and stuff like that. And, so I think it was Danielle looked it up and said there's actually a movie with Kristen Stewart called JT LeRoy, and I was like, what? I've never heard of this. So I Google searched it, and real quick, and there is a movie called JT LeRoy, and it's with Kristen Stewart and Laura Dern. Kristen Stewart plays Savannah, the sister-in-law that was JT LeRoy, that played acted as if they were JT LeRoy. And Laura Dern plays Laura, the main, like, the author, the real person. So I started watching it tonight because it was on Netflix. You can watch it on Netflix if you've been interested in this story, but I will tell you this. If I had to make a recommendation, I only got halfway through the movie. I will finish the movie, but the documentary Author, I think it's called Author or Authored, and it's on Amazon Prime. The JT LeRoy story is fantastic. The movie with Kristen Stewart and Laura Dern is not. It is not good. It's not bad acting or anything like that. I mean, I think Kristen Stewart and Laura Dern are fantastic actors, but it just is not great. This person cut me off, and then they're like, probably wondering why. Oh my gosh. finish this. So yeah, so I watched that, half of that movie today, and, I mean, it was interesting. It's basically the documentary, but just fiction. I don't know that I would recommend it. It was boring, kind of. I mean, they were both good in it, but, I mean, they both, I will say, like, really, it was almost kind of like watching the documentary, if that makes sense. Because it was, like, almost the exact same story. My friend is going to continue to text me until I stop. Hold on a second, because I didn't say that I was vlogging. Let me pull in here, and I'm going to text her and tell her that I'm vlogging. This house over here, well, I should pull in there and I'll show you in just a second. It's so pretty. This is like a gated street, but I'm gonna go in here to show you guys this. Oh, is it a private residence? No, it's a private drive. I'm just gonna go in here and show you guys just this because it's so pretty. This is somebody's house right here. Isn't this so pretty? Can you? What? I love this house. This street is so pretty back in here. This is actually like an older street, and it's been here forever. But they like keep it up so beautifully in here. Okay, we can turn around now. Oh, these people have like a little nativity. I'm gonna go down a little bit further actually. These people have like a little nativity scene thing in their yard. Oh, it's so pretty. It's been a long time since I've driven down through here. I didn't actually remember that this street went down this far. I thought it just went down like five houses, and that was it. These houses are like massive down here. There's a lot of people that have this nativity thing that is like, it's not like a nativity thing. I don't know if you guys can see it. Here, I'm going to show you. It's kind of off in the distance right here. Can you guys see this? Right there on the house. It's like this nativity thing that they sit up against the house, and then they have a light in front of it, and then the light shines like a shadow of the nativity scene on the house. There was another one up here that had it. I thought that was really cool. This house has so many decorations all up inside and everywhere. It's so pretty. You can see the garland on the everywhere. It's beautiful. So anyway, talking about the JT LeRoy book. So tonight, I was like, it has been 20 years since I've read that book, Sarah. And I actually pulled it down off my bookshelf. And I started like flipping through it to see like if I remembered it, which I did, which is so bizarre. And it's a real short book. And so I got on Audible because I was like, this would be an interesting book to listen to. And Sarah, as well as The Heart is Deceitful Above All Things, or Among All Things, or whatever it is, they are both on Audible. I did not like the second book. I can remember reading it, and it's longer, but not much longer, but I can remember reading it, and I just did not love it. I was like, this is not my favorite book. And the movie was real weird. And so, I wanted to show you that other nativity scene. Oh, well. And the other, do you guys want to see the other nativity scene? I was just asking you guys if you wanted to see the other nativity scene, and then I was like, I don't really want to turn around again. But maybe I should to show you what I was talking about. How can I do this? This house is so pretty over here. It's like a farmhouse. A big farmhouse, though. So anyway, I was saying that I didn't like the second book by JT LeRoy as much as I liked the first book. I loved Sarah. The second book, The Heart is Deceitful, or whatever, Above All Things, Among All Things, like that book was like, I mean, they're both dark books, but it was like really like dark. And the movie was so weird. It was like, I remember not even really understanding what happened in it. Okay. So here I'm going to show you, this nativity scene. I don't know if you can see it from there or not. Do you see this? Like, they have it in the yard, okay? They do not have it on their... Oh, they don't even have a light on it right now, because I can see the light in front. So maybe when they have the light on, it shines. Do you guys see that? I hope you can. I hope I'm showing here. Let me turn down the screen to see that I'm... Yeah, you can see it right there. So... they're probably looking out their window, and they're like, who is this person looking at our nativity scene? Isn't that why you have the Christmas lights? Oh, you know what I haven't done yet either is all the people in, well, I mean, it's usually like more on the north side of Indianapolis that have the Christmas lights that go off to the station. And then like when you go to their yard, it'll say like, I need to drive over there. I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna drive over there and see, because when you go to their yard, it'll say, let's go down the street. I don't know that I've ever been down the street actually, ever. It doesn't look like there's tons to see. When you go to their yard, it'll say, that was weird. It had like 2 addresses on it. It's pretty through here. I love all of the mature trees, and it backs up to the woods. It's so pretty in here. Look at this. I don't know why the older I get, but I don't, you guys probably can't see this with the rain. You can't. Here, let me roll down the window. But I love the multicolored lights on the houses or the trees and stuff. I think they're so pretty. But they'll have like a sign that has the radio station, and it'll say, turn to this radio station. To like, then you turn it and it'll like play the music to the lights. Didn't I show that last year? I think I showed that last year on a video. So we'll drive over there and see if the signs are up. Welcome to my life of driving around in excitement. Isn't this so much fun? That house is actually really, really cute. It's like gray and white, like Cape Cod, but then it had a red door. It's so cute. You know, that is the one thing about Indiana. I mean, I'm not saying that it's exclusive to us, but I can remember like going to visit my friend in Arizona that I had like known through the years, and people, like, I remember we went to this one girl's house because like she was having a party. This was like after we both graduated, and it was like that summer, and so he took me to this party. Actually, took me to this party and then ditched me, which whatever. I don't think we were really that good of friends at that point, but isn't that a nice thing to do? Like, your friend from out of town that doesn't know anybody, you go to a party and then they just leave you. Like, I mean, he was at the party, but like, I just didn't know anybody. Which is actually kind of a funny story. I'll tell you guys that story in just a second. It's really kind of it's an interesting story. So, would that have been when I graduated, or would that have been going into my senior year? That would have actually been going into my senior year, scrap that. It was a graduation party, but it was my junior year going into my senior year. It was that summer in between. And he had been somebody that I had been friends with off and on through the years. And like our parents knew each other and that kind of stuff. So I went out like for a week to visit that summer. But anyway, I think maybe we had like, I don't know, like I think he didn't want me to go to the party because he didn't think that I would know anybody anyway. And then I got there and I don't know. But anyway, well, I'll tell that story in just a second. But I remember going to this so the girl that lived there, it was like her brother's party. And she was like 2 years younger. Like he was a senior that had just graduated, and she was like a sophomore, gonna be a junior, I think, something like that. And she, the house looked like a house you would see here, you know? It was like thatchwork roof and brick siding and things like that. And they actually called it, like her neighborhood, they said, oh, it's so funny that you're from Indiana, because they call this neighborhood, like they'll say like these are Indiana houses. And I was like, they do look like houses in Indiana. But like in, you know, Arizona, most of the houses are like stucco and things like that. I love that architecture, but so it was funny that they thought this was like a big deal, that like if you lived in this like Indiana neighborhood or whatever. Whenever I think of Arizona, besides my good Judy Mel, I also think of the movie Can't Buy Me Love. Did you guys ever? Oh, I loved that movie back in the day. But anyway, Can't Buy Me Love. So, so here's the story about that night, which actually everything turned out the way that it was supposed to. So, I think I told this story on here not too long ago. So my friend just like leaves. I remember I had just that day, like on College Avenue, like down by ASU, I had bought a pair of Birkenstocks. They were green suede Birkenstocks, and I had these, I bought like socks there too, and I bought these like cream socks that were like these crew socks that were like really nice socks. And so I remember I had on like some, I think I had like some band t-shirt on, and then like some band that I liked back then. And then I had on like The Cure or something or whatever. And then I had on, maybe it was like a Smith's t-shirt. And then I had on like these Birkenstock sandals and jeans and these socks, right? Which is so funny that I wore socks with sandals back in the day, because I would never do that today. But anyway, so this house was like, the party was out by the pool. The pool was like massive, and it was like beautiful and stuff. And I can remember I was like looking for my friend, and he was like sitting talking, or he's like standing and talking to these people. And I was like, F this. And so I walked back in the house, and I was just honestly gonna go like out front, and I was just gonna like, I don't know, like sit out on the street and smoke cigarettes or something until he was done, because I was so upset. And because I was just like, I don't know anybody, why did I even come to this thing? I think his mom, I think what happened honestly was that I didn't want to go, and he didn't really want me to go, because it was like I didn't know these people, and he had like made all these new friends and whatever, and we weren't really that great of friends by that point anyway, and we never really were. And so I went to the party, and then I didn't know anybody, and he ditched me, and so something like that. So anyway, so as I was walking like back inside through the house, through the kitchen, and then in through, like there was like this, it was like a big house. There was like a little room, like right before you got to the, it was like at the, you're standing looking at the front door, there was a little room to the left. It was like a little, like den, like just a little den that had like these two like double doors that closed, like French doors. And there were like these three people sitting on the floor. And I remember it was this girl with like long dark hair, and it was her house. It was her brother's party. And then there was this guy that was like super cute and had like blondish brown, like curly short hair, and was dressed like real preppy and had on like a polo shirt with like khakis and like Teva sandals or whatever, those kind of sandals. And then this girl that reminded me of a friend of mine from high school, and she was real tall and short blonde hair and real different. And they were sitting there and they were listening to New Order. And I knew the album, so like, I said something, which is so funny because it's so completely outside of me to ever do this, but I think I said something about the album or something, I can't remember, but somehow I got into this room and they were like, well, come in here and sit with us. And so I came in there and I sat with them, and we ended up talking like all night. She was asking me about like Indiana homes, and I became like instant like friends with these like three. They were so nice to me, and I can remember like for the remainder of the days that I stayed at my friend's house, I like called and talked to this like the girl with the short hair on the phone, and it's kind of like that thing where you become like instant friends with somebody, you know. And so here's the weird thing. So that guy and I, under the premise of just being like friendly towards each other, I remember he had a very religious family, and we started writing letters to each other. And over the course of, I don't know, 6 months, I mean, it became very flirtatious, and it was very innocent. And I have to honestly say, it was probably my very first real crush where, like, we came out to each other. Like, I don't think we ever said the words, like, I'm gay, but, like, we told each other that we liked each other. And I remember talking to him on the phone. I feel like it was the last time that I ever talked to him on the phone. And he was getting ready to go to college. And he had said, like, that he, like, couldn't ever, like, talk to his family again. I can't remember. It was just this whole thing where he, like, wanted to, like, be himself, but he didn't feel like he could be himself. And he was excited to go to college because then he could and whatever. I don't know. We just faded out over time. Let me just tell you, I used to think that I found him on Facebook, but he must have found me because his name that he goes by I could find, I have the letters in my basement. Oh my God, I should find the letters and read them, shouldn't I? Oh my God, I should. You know what I actually have in my basement is I have this love letter, breakup letter, that my ex Todd wrote to me with the song lyrics to the song St. Peter that he wrote for me. That's my ex that died several years ago. I should read that in a letter. I should find that. I know it's all in this one box. I have all this one box I have of like all old letters and stuff. But he must have friended me because the guy from Arizona, because he sent me like a message, and his name that he goes by on Facebook is not his name that I remember him by. It's like completely different. It's like, let's say if it was John Smith, Judy Smith's husband, no. If it was John Smith, it's now like Frank Jones. I mean, it's something completely different. And I was like, who is this person when he friended me? Although he looked familiar, and he was like, I can remember, like, I remember getting a message from him, and him being like, I don't know if you remember me, blah, blah, blah. We used to write each other back in the day. I met you in Arizona. And I was like, oh my God. And he is super hot looking today, and like in fantastic shape. He's got like, he's like married, I think, today, or has a partner. I should actually pull up his Facebook. I should pull in here. I haven't seen his Facebook forever. If I get on Facebook, it's like I just go through my feed, or I look up the Vloggerinos or the True Crime Book Club. Like, that's all I do on Facebook. Like, I don't, and I probably spend more time looking at the Vloggerinos and a True Crime Book Club than I do anything else. I just scan through Facebook. I honestly don't even really look at anything on there, people, you know? And then the thing is if you look at one person, then their stuff comes up over and over and over and over again. And so since I look at, like, my mother-in-law's or my family's pictures, like, it's their pictures that come up, like, over and over and over and over again. So then it's just that, which is totally fine for me. But, like, obscure people that I haven't looked at their pages in forever, they don't ever pop up. I'm going to pull in here, actually, and see. I feel like the last time But I tried to look him up. Maybe I got it. Did I do it on a vlog? That would be so weird if I was doing it again. I feel like the last time that I was looking him up, like he had changed his name again or something on Facebook and I couldn't find him. This guy that one of my very, very first boyfriends that I ever had, like when I was like 18 or 19, somebody mentioned his name to me not too long ago. Like we were going through like names of like whatever happened to this person, this person, this person, this person. This was a friend of mine that I hadn't talked to in a while. And they brought up his name and I was like, oh my God. And they're like, didn't you date for a while? And I was like, yeah, we did. Like he was like I wouldn't say, I mean, we didn't spend like 6 months together, but like he was an important part of my coming out, and it was not a good, he was the boyfriend that I had to make amends to at our friend's funeral that took his life. Because I knew that at that point, he was living out of the country. He was living, I think, in England at the time. And I knew that I would never have another chance to make amends to him. So I made it to him in the parking lot, and he did not want to talk to me. But you know, so recently I like looked him up, and he's like living in Australia now with his husband. I was like, God, here I am still in Indianapolis. Who knew? You know, I don't ever often feel like bad for like staying in Indianapolis. Like I love Indianapolis, you know? But it is weird that every once in a while that I'm like, I can't believe that all these people have like traveled. Well, I mean, I've traveled, but have like lived around the world. Like people that we know, right? Like they lived here for a while, they lived there for a while. And here I've lived in the same 10 miles my entire life, right? And, you know, that's one of the reasons why it's so important for me that we get a place in Florida, because I know that's Alex's dream, and I just don't want him looking back on his life and being like, I just stayed in Indianapolis my whole life, because he has always wanted to be in Florida living, you know, part-time or full-time. Which is so interesting because, like, whenever I get these questions from people, like on Instagram, like Q&As and stuff, and I can always kind of tell by their tone of how they're like trying to get in or something, you know, and they're like, oh, still haven't found a place in Florida yet to move to. And I'm like, we're not moving to Florida. Like, I don't know how many times I've had to say this in videos, but we're not moving to Florida full time. We're getting a place in Florida and we're going to go back and forth. But it's just, you know, things haven't necessarily gone the way that we wanted them to go, you know? I would love to have a place down there right now. The other thing I have to tell you that I've talked to Alex about is, do we really want to get a place in Florida? Or would we rather, I mean, because we're going to get our condo done here the way, like, we're going to make it. Because somebody asked the other day, I mean, it was actually really nice how they asked it, but they said, you know, like, have you, like, worked on the basement yet? No, that needs to be done. But that probably really will be done in the next 6 months. I mean, like, that's the first thing that we're gonna do, probably to the house, so that when the rest of the house is being done, we can kind of live out of the basement. If it's completely finished, and we have another a bathroom down there. That's what Caroline recommends, is that we get the basement done and have like a bedroom area, and then, you know, like I can have a work area down there for making videos, and then we can have a full bathroom. So basically, Alex and I and the dogs can work out of the basement, or live out of the basement, except for the kitchen, while they're working on the rest of the condo. So that probably will be in the next 6 months. That will be the first thing we do. The reality is, we really just need to get a contractor to come out. Somebody redid this entire condo that's like ours, in our neighborhood, and it looks so fantastic. And so Caroline looked it up, and she found the contractor for me, and she's like, just call them and ask them to come out there and give you a quote. So I need to do that, because Alex and I talked about how we both liked that, and what we liked and what we didn't like about the remodel that they did. Because they like took the kitchen and they moved it into the living room, and then where the kitchen is, they made like a TV area, and we're like, no, we don't like that. We like the kitchen where it's at, but we just want it all open. So yeah, I want to call that person in, that contractor, and see if they can give us a quote. What was I going to say? Oh, but I did talk to Alex. I said, you know, like, do we really want a place in Florida and have, like, you know, another place down there? And, like, you know, hurricane insurance, HOAs, all that stuff are so expensive that I'm like, or would we rather just, like, 4 times a year Airbnb a place in Florida for a month? I mean, we could probably get a nicer place if we Airbnb'd it than what we would have ourselves. And we could also get something on the beach, you know, walking distance to everything, like some nice condo that you have a pool to use and you're right on the beach, that we could Airbnb for a month and then go down there for a month and then, you know, be here for 2 months, 3 months, and then go back down there for a month. I think that would be ideal. So anyway, I don't know. But then if we had something permanent, like our friends and family could use it, so that would be nice too. This rain is pretty, isn't it? You know, I honestly don't even remember what his name is on here. I would have to go through all of my, yeah, because he's not under what I thought he used to be under. I would have to go through all of my friends to see today is my brother-in-law Fufu's birthday, by the way, so happy birthday to Fufu. Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. I needed to say... Katie's birthday... Oh, no, this is from... Where am I at? I'm like, that's from July. I'm like, Katie's birthday. Somebody asked me to give them a shout out on the vlog. I screenshot it. Hold on a second. I have so many screenshots, you guys. I know I'm never gonna be able to find this. Hold on. Oh, okay, here it is. This is from Jessie, and Jessie said, I just finished Apples Never Fall in time for November, and I also met my 2021 reading goal. Congrats to us. Congrats to you, Jessie. Thank you for inspiring me to read more. Love ya. P.S. I watch your vlog every day. I'm not on social media, so you are my escape and comfort on this platform. I appreciate you so much. My birthday is this Thursday, December 2nd. I would faint 1,000 faints if you would wish me a happy birthday on your vlog. If not, I will pretend I'm Lena. You're the best. So happy birthday, Jessie. I am sorry that I'm getting to this late. I hope that you had the most amazing birthday in the entire world. So happy belated birthday. Now I'm really intrigued to know what his name is. I feel like... Hold on a second. I feel like I know what it starts with. You're gonna have to just deal with me for just a second. Okay, I'm like trying to like skim through these names, and I'm literally still, I'm like right at the B's. I think his name starts with an H. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like there's an H at the beginning of it. That's so funny. Maybe not. Jay, maybe? He's probably not even on Facebook anymore. And here I am wondering what this person is doing. I'm skimming through like all of these people. Do you ever just like look through your like Facebook and you're like, I don't even know half these people are. Okay. I'm like looking at these names and it's like their name is like there's no picture next to it, and then I hit it and it said account deactivated. I have like a few of those. I guess everybody's deactivating their account. Well, it wasn't H. I don't know what his name was. Now I'm upset because I want to know what his name was. I could go back in my messages, I guess, and look and see, but I feel like I mean, how far do you go back, right? I mean, it was years ago. I don't even know where I would look. Because are you guys all waiting for the moment when I find him and I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I would literally have to go back through like years of looking at this because it has been and then it's weird because there's all these people underneath here that says Facebook users. But like, there's no like, nobody there. You know what I mean? I bet he's not even on Facebook anymore. Lost forever. I wish I knew his name. This is driving me crazy. I'm to like May 20th of years ago. Do you know what's funny is, I bet if I looked at the letter, I bet it's got his real name. Oh, you know what? I just remembered what his real name is. Oh my Lord. There's no way. If I look it up, I know that that's not his, that he doesn't go by that on Facebook anymore. Oh my God, I can't believe I just remembered his name. Not like his whole name, but like his first name. Yeah, maybe his last name was an H. He probably defriended me, is what it is. Do you know what's weird is I don't even know. Do you ever look up people and you're like, I don't even know who this person is? Anyway, I don't know what happened to him. I do remember his first name though now. I wasted way too much time on that. Well, one of these days. I was gonna say, I just kind of wanted to know what he was up to, is all. Oh, man. You know what I should do is I should go in here just for a second and read the vloggerino, or not the vloggerinos, read the comments on the vlog real quick. Gemma said, does anyone know when the December book needs to be read by? Not the true crime, the mystery fiction. I mean, whenever. It's just the whole month of December. You can read it anytime during the month of December. Conqueso said, hey, Peter, just want to say thank you for the vlogs. I'm a college professor, and your vlogs have kept me company for many semesters while I grade. It's finals week, so that means I'm grading late into the night. Thank you for the company. Oh, that is so sweet. Hyundai said, thank you, Peter. The consistency of your vlogs is so comforting. I'm so glad you love what you do because we can totally feel the energy and it's so nice. Thank you. God, these were such nice comments. Inno said, Peter, you look so handsome tonight. Praying for you, sir. Thank you for all you do. Oh, thank you. Constantine, aka Constantine, put a blue heart. Okay, I'm gonna just read from like the last days. Jules said, I would just like to say this is my fourth Peter vlog I'm watching today. LOL, I had to catch up earlier. Thanks for another one. You're welcome. Thank you. Bree said, new to your vlogs, not your other channels though, and was just curious why you don't spend holidays with your dad. I'm absolutely not trying to be nosy at all. Was just curious, since it doesn't seem by the way you talk about him that you have a contentious relationship or anything. We do not have a contentious relationship. We have a great relationship. It's really just honestly not that deep. First of all, my dad and my stepmom like never go anywhere. And really since the lockdown and since my dad has retired, they really haven't left a lot. Like they go grocery shopping and they'll go out to dinner like once a week. But other than that, like they literally DoorDash a lot of their meals and stuff like that. They really love their home, and so they're just at their home a lot. And they'll have people over to their house for dinner, you know, and stuff like that. So through the years, it just kind of happened this way, like way back in the day, that like when I was growing up, I would do like the 23rd with my dad, and then like Christmas Eve morning, he would bring me to like my mom's house, and then I would do Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with my mom. And sometimes like after that, I would go back with my dad, but like not typically until later because I would do New Year's with him. Then as I got older, it just kind of stayed that way, and they would do stuff with my stepmom's family when her nieces and nephews were younger. Now her nieces and nephews are like in their 30s, and so like they have families of their own, and her family doesn't even really get together a whole lot for Christmas. So then what happened was, for Christmas Eve, they would do things with her father, who is single, before he passed away. Like they would go out to dinner, they would take him somewhere nice out to dinner, and then they would go to like a midnight mass because he was real involved in his church. Well, not a midnight mass, but like an earlier mass because he was real involved with his church. But he passed away a couple years ago. And then on Christmas Day, they would do things with her mom, because her parents got divorced when she was younger. Her mom and her stepdad, and they would do that on Christmas Day. And then my family from my dad's side, they would do like, in January, they would do like a family kind of like get together in either Fort Wayne or at my dad's house. But now, my one aunt has passed away, my uncle passed away, and it's just my dad and his 2 siblings. And my one aunt lives in Texas mostly now with my cousins, and my other aunt lives in Fort Wayne. And I just have 2 cousins, one of which I just got a Christmas card from today, and she lives in Indianapolis. And so she and her brother, who is married and has kids in Fort Wayne, like, they do something with their mom. So it's like our family at this point is so small. Usually Alex and I, we will go out to dinner with like my dad and my stepmom sometime like right around Christmas, and we just have Christmas there. And it's just easier that way. We just go out to dinner and exchange presents and stuff like that. It's just, you know, so it's just, no, it's there's no deep thing to it. When I was growing up, like in my dad's never been the kind of person that just wants to like entertain for hours, like for a Christmas holiday, you know? Now, I will tell you, a couple years ago when Alex's family was all out of town for Christmas, there were like his mom and his stepdad and I think Fufu went back to Venezuela. Carlos and Liliana were living there at the time. And and then Alex's aunt and uncle were like in Las Vegas visiting Maya, and like everybody was gone. And it was just like Alex and I were here completely alone. So my dad actually made an entire Venezuelan Christmas, and like hand printed, like, my dad is so artsy. He hand printed this menu out and everything. And it had like, I can't pronounce this stuff, you guys, but like ham de jambon on there. And like it had like all of these, like the typical Venezuelan Christmas meal that you would have. My dad even got online and ordered like certain desserts that were Venezuelan traditions. The ayaca, that's what they have too, like that's wrapped in the leaf thing. Like my dad ordered that online. The rest of it he made by hand. He also ordered a Venezuelan wine that's like a Christmas wine to go with dinner, and he made this whole Venezuelan Christmas spread because he felt so bad that Alex's family was out of town and he didn't have any connection to that year. So that was really, really cool. But like my dad doesn't usually, my dad is a great cook, my stepmom is a great cook, but they don't really entertain the way that they used to. And my dad honestly never really did. The battery is just starting to die. But my dad really never did. I mean, he always liked to do small things, but even when we would do Christmas, like my dad and my stepmom and myself, long before I had like a boyfriend or anything was involved, like we would have a dinner and then like unwrap presents and that was it. I mean, it would be like an hour and a half and they were just like, okay. I mean, they go to bed so early and stuff that it's just kind of whatever. So we'll do something with them around Christmas. I don't know. We'll probably go out to dinner. They love, like, there's like 3 restaurants that they love. Seasons 52 is like usually where we go to dinner with them for holidays and Christmas and stuff. So anyway, all right, I'm going to get off here now because my battery is dying and I want to listen to my audiobook and I want to get it done tonight. So anyway, I'm going to get off here now. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Monday, magically amazing beginning to your week. Make the most of it. Do something that will change your life in a positive direction this week. Let's all do that. And if you haven't started decorating for Christmas, oh, I still need to put up the Cozy Christmas contest on the Vloggerinas. I promise I will do it sometime this week. So I might just make it a week, a run-long contest. It's going to be real easy, trust. And I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening tonight, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye. I always forget how to do it at the end. If I'm like ad-libbing and talking, I forget the end. Anyway, I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya! Oh, and for those that need to hear it, and those that want to hear it, and those that just happen to stick around while I'm sitting in the parking lot, one more I love you. Happy birthday, Lena, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!